Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you. Thank you for joining me for this continuing series on 30 reasons for being Muslim. The reason I want to explore today is that Islam teaches that we are born in a natural state. We are born with a clean slate of deeds, and we're not responsible for what someone else has done, only for our own deeds. So let's step back and look at the broader picture. We see that sometimes there's an idea that the present life we live is the result of some previous life. We're suffering from bad karma from something we did previously, even though we don't remember that we were in a previous life or what we have done to deserve whatever we're experiencing now. Another idea is that the first human being sinned, and because of his sin, we are in some state of depravity, and we commit sins because we inherit that sinful nature from our first parent. Some even take it a step further and say that there is this original sin for which we are all suffering to this day. With such ideas in mind, naturally some people can be depressed, feeling depraved, feeling that we're not worth much, and it really, it takes an extra effort to get over that hump where you feel that there is something that we need to overcome here. It's almost like the welfare trap in which you feel that, you are in this state of existence and you don't see a way forward out of it. So that is a problem. But how does Islam come in to solve that problem? Well, Islam teaches us that, in fact, there is no such thing as an original sin, and you're not responsible for what somebody else has done, and there's no previous life in this world for that will have racked up bad karma for you. You're here in this world for the once, and whatever you do here is going to shape your life hereafter. You're responsible only for your own deeds. So the Quran says in a verse that many Muslims have memorized since childhood, فَمَن يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ وَمَن يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. Whoever does an atom's weight of good will see it. Whoever does an atom's weight of evil will see that too. And what about the sin of Adam? Well, the Quran shows that Adam was forgiven. And in any case, his sins cannot be passed on to us, and his sinful nature is not going to corrupt us, or at least that God is not going to hold us responsible for any sort of effect that remains from the sin of Adam, because God knows our circumstances. He's fair, He is just, He is balanced. Rather, the Quran teaches us, لا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى, and no soul will bear the burden of another. This is repeated again and again in the Quran. In fact, it is even said in the Quran that this is a teaching that we will find in As-Suhuf al-Ula, in the previous scrolls, meaning the scrolls that were possibly revealed to Abraham and to Moses. So with this teaching in mind, it is very clear from the Quran that we are responsible for our own deeds. We're not responsible for what someone has done before us. And with all due respect to Adam, who is regarded by myself and other Muslims as a prophet of Islam, we have to protest and say that we were not there when he committed whatever act of forgetfulness he committed. So we were not urging him on. So how could we be responsible for what he did? And even if somebody says, well, you know what, Adam was considered the head of the human race, and so whatever he did affects all of the human race in a corporate manner. Well, we might say that we were not there to vote for him. So, with due respect to Adam, it's not our fault that he did what he did. So God, who is fair and balanced and just, sees the whole picture, and he knows what has happened. And he knows that we are not responsible for that because we were not there. He's only going to hold us responsible for what we do in a conscious state of our existence. That, to me, presents a very good reason for being Muslim. It gives us this sense of security and freedom from guilt for a previous crime or supposition that we did something wrong in a previous life. It empowers us to go out and do good deeds, knowing that it's our good deeds that will matter. And of course, we have to stay away from evils, because our evil deeds will shape our bad future in the life hereafter. Having this sense gives us an impetus to go forward and do good deeds. Whereas, of course, if we had the idea that we're born depraved, and then we have this hurdle to get over, we feel depressed, we feel it is a challenge to get over this. Everybody wants to get to the head of the class in almost every field, even in the spiritual field. We want to do better, we want to excel, we want to rise higher and get closer to God. But if we feel there is also already this wet blanket, looming over us, there is this great guilt and feeling of low self-esteem because of what human beings are supposed to be like, with this kind of inherent sinful nature, then that will disempower us. But the Quran says that God created the soul, فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا, and inspired the soul with both its tendency towards good and towards evil. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا, so successful is the one who purifies the soul. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا, and ruined is the one who thus ruins the soul. So we don't want to be people who ruin our own souls, but rather we have the opportunity to uplift ourselves to get closer to God. That, to me, is an excellent reason for being Muslim. How does it make us better persons? Well, it makes us better persons by equipping us to do good deeds, by empowering us and stimulating us to do good deeds, because we know that is the important thing that counts. Of course, we also depend on the grace and mercy of God, but we should start with our own good deeds and leave the rest to God for His help, for His mercy, for His guidance. And when we uplift ourselves like this, we make the world a better place, because we want to perform a random act of kindness for someone else, knowing that even that little good deed will be the mithqala dharra, that's to the atom's weight, that will be shown to us in the life hereafter. So that's my good reason for being Muslim. Join me again tomorrow for another good reason for being Muslim. Peace be with you. Assalamu alaikum.
Tired of seeing how Muslims are depicted in media? You can help. Support Muslim Media Hub, the first of its kind to empower young Muslims to create content for film, TV, and social media. Visit our website, QuranSpeaks.com, and donate.